sir.
Welcome, my friends. Please pardon my haste, but our madrigal comedy is about to begin, and I must be in costume for the performance. My name is Adriano Banchieri. As you see, I am a monk of the Olivetan order. This is one of my brothers. Thank you. And I'm also a composer of modern music. Tonight, you will hear my Festino, a collection of madrigals arranged as a comedy set to music. Festino follows a long tradition of madrigal comedies. I believe that one of the first was composed by Alessandro Striggio in 1567. He chose a frivolous subject, the chattering of women at the laundry. Unfortunately, Striggio's music is as ridiculous as his text. More successful are the madrigal comedies of my late friend Orazio Vecchi, especially his Lampi Parnasso, the foothills of Mount Parnassus. Those great performances at Modena 10 years ago led Vecchi to his appointment as music master for the Duke. He was even offered an appointment by the Emperor. My own madrigal comedies are developing in a new direction. Although Vecchi wrote Lampi Parnasso as a piece of concert music never intended for a theater, I have begun to experiment with staging. Tonight, you will see my Festino staged with scenery, dramatic recitation, dance, and mime. Moreover, I have attempted to compose in the modern style with a relaxed attitude toward the ancient rules of counterpoint. My harmony is freely contrived to best present the meaning of my words. I can hear that the musicians have finished tuning and our show must begin. I hope you enjoy our performance. And to you, and to you, and to me. Being under an obligation, gentle guest, to join with you in the pleasures of this Festino, on entering by the outer gate, mark now a strange tale. I was accosted by an old man dressed in this fashion: a bonnet fit to boil cabbages in, a moth-eaten beard, a pedantic gown tied crosswise under his crop, and under his left wing a great bundle of dingy folios. He addressed me thus: "Stay, O delight, and by no means go inside, seeing that the author, having rejected me as his rightful master, I, who am descended from the master theorist and am called rigor, and having shamefully repudiated the chromatic and enharmonic genera that render the established music harmonious and rational, uses in their stead proportions, dissonances, and irrational things that are diatonically objectionable. Wherefore, if you are true delight, turn back, for here there is no place for thee." To the impertinent prattling of this person I replied, giving him an angry look, and repaying him in his own coin, as the saying goes: "I am indeed delight, but I am modern delight. Wherefore, O rigor, hear what the author maintains. And to speak frankly, I am he. Having refused to observe the rules of those folios of yours to the letter, he has succeeded admirably, although with your sophistries and cavillings you have sought to insinuate that the modern composers ought to put your antiquated precepts into practice. Observe the painter, read the poet, listen to the musician. Do you not recognize fine taste in their modern inventions? Tell me, is anyone a greater philosopher than you in his dress and in his conversation? May it confound you to recognize that the intellects of today, 90 out of 100, accommodate themselves to the great maxim, all things new are pleasing. Above all, the composers of music, whose aim it is to delight others, as the orator's is to persuade them. Therefore I counsel thee, O ancient rigor, to peddle those folios of yours to the fishmonger, for indeed they smell like an excellent bait for sardines, tuna fish, and herrings." He was girding himself up anew with his importunate replies, and so, Spurred on my way, I left him with his benefice of black notes and druggist's prescriptions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you this final cadence. Let the singing be merry, and as long as this sort of music pleases most of you, let all consideration for the rest be set aside. Closing the accounts, I conclude by saying that if there be any jaded men at this Festino, or any pregnant women with corrupt tastes, let them retire to the kitchen to make peace between the cook and the waiters, so that the dinner may not turn into a brawl. But for my sake, let them give us, while we dine, an appetizing entertainment for us all. And now, to our guests from Milan or Torino or Mantua, come to our lively Festino.
Those who have leisure for fun and pleasure will love this hearty but rustic party.
Lovers we're bringing for dance and singing.
Find here a maiden with beauty laden. Should you grow restive, we'll go suggestive.
We'll cut a caper,
The banquet's later.
dancing and miming with perfect timing.
With bold expressions and shy confessions, gay celebration and loud oration.
With all this fleeting,
It bears repeating. Those who have leisure for fun and pleasure will love our party. Our party. Come to our party.
The gondolier and Pantalone will try to dance with old John Doe.
The gentlemen are jumping and knees are bumping and hearts are thumping in this soiree. We dance and we prance and we glance and romance on the chance of love today. We dance and we prance and we glance and romance on a chance so far away.
so starts dancing, my friend,
But my knee doesn't bend.
Here's your chance, gondolier.
Split my pants up to here.
Let's go now, Pantalone.
I've a pain in my ball.
Moya, 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 not that deep in those pants, bend that bone.
Now dance, Simon, with Uncle John Doe.
Now dance, Simon, with Uncle John Doe.
With Uncle John Doe.
With Uncle John Doe.
Now dance, Simon.
Now dance, Simon, with Uncle John Doe. With Uncle John Doe.
Our party continues, our lovers commune to a lute and a harpsichord playing in tune.
Trom tom 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 toro trom. Trom tom toro trom trom toro trom. Trom toro trom. Trom toro trom. Trom toro trom tom toro trom tom toro trom. Toro toro trom. Trom toro trom. Trom tom toro trom. Trom toro trom. Trom toro trom. Toro toro trom. Trom toro trom. Trom toro trom. Toro trom. Toro trom. Toro toro trom.
And now may all traces of tedium vanish. A Moorish balletto, the flavor is Spanish.
What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. See the eyes of the dancers flashing, with the figures of bold and dashing. See the eyes of the dancers flashing, with the figures of bold and dashing.
In and out,
Round about, now returning, oh hear them shout.
in and out,
Round about, now returning, oh hear them shout. Mr. Cupid is thoughts and quiver, may his bow evermore deliver. Mr. Cupid is thoughts and quiver, may his bow evermore deliver. And to Venus to live forever, may her company leave us never. And to Venus to live forever, may her company leave us never.
to and fro.
There they go, buonasera Paladino. What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. See the eyes of the dancers flashing, with the figures of bold and dashing. See the eyes of the dancers flashing, with the figures of bold and dashing.
In and out,
Round about, now returning, oh hear them shout.
in and out,
Round about, now returning, oh hear them shout. Mr. Cupid is hearts and quiver, may his bow evermore deliver. Mr. Cupid is hearts and quiver, may his bow evermore deliver. And to Venus to live forever, may your company leave us never. And to Venus to live forever, may your company leave us never.
to and fro.
There they go, buonasera Paladino.
A cuckoo, an owl, a dog, and a cat in counterpoint over a bass line in Latin.
la 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 la
I hope that our Festino suits your taste. The characters are based on those of the Commedia dell'arte, which has lately become so popular in Italy. In the first dance, for example, I borrowed the joke of the old men from some of the wonderful characters played by our best professional comedians. My favorite is Pantalone, the old Magnifico from Venice. Last week, at the Piazza Maggiore in the center of Bologna, I saw a marvelous actor who made his Pantalone by turns greedy, suspicious, lecherous, and gullible. Another fine comedian portrayed Dottore Graziano, the old lawyer from Bologna, who was just as lecherous, though more despicable because of his arrogance and pretentiousness. Sometimes Graziano would wax eloquent, bespeaking his fine education at the university, but almost immediately he would lapse into outrageous tongue twisters that made no sense at all. The audience roared at the practical jokes played by the servants known as Zani. I collapsed with laughter when San Arlecchino slipped with his sword and split open the trousers of old Pantalone, exposing the huge sausage that he was trying to hide. The troupe I saw last week also had some fine young comedians who portrayed innocent lovers, the children of Pantalone and Graziano. In Festino, I thought it would be interesting to have our young lovers dance an exotic Spagnoletto, just as they do at the court of Naples. Some comedians like to poke fun at our Spanish invaders. I should think it wiser to flatter them. The most popular part of Festino, at least with my brothers here at the monastery, is that foolish counterpoint of the animals. Did you notice, under all the cuckoos, meows, and bow-wows, the bass was singing a solemn chant in corrupt Latin? I don't think I'll translate it for you. Have you enjoyed the staging of our madrigal comedy? As I said earlier, this has been an experiment, but I like to keep up to date. During the past few years, Count Bardi and his camerata at Florence have been presenting dramatic tragedies and fables sung throughout by actors in costume and accompanied by splendid orchestras with dozens of instruments. The stories of Daphne and of Orpheus and Eurydice have already been set to music by several composers. Last year, my brilliant friend Claudio Monteverdi presented at Mantua his Orfeo, which has already been repeated. And this year, for the Royal Gonzaga wedding, not only will Monteverdi present his Arianna, but Marco da Galliano will also present his new version of Daphne. When noble families are united in marriage, the entertainments are exceeded only by the banquets. And so that you, gentle guest, may share in this sort of revelry, our Festino continues with a party game and a tasting of wine. A game for the ladies, the men will agree, must come to an end with the clock striking 3.
Continuing our evenings entertaining, let's tickle all the ladies with gaiety.
If you will bait the hook, then we can swallow. If you begin to play, then we can follow.
Let's go. We have a game to master, to see who's wins are faster.
We'll see if you are quicker, if your head is thicker.
We shall quickly recite our verbal terror. You must repeat without any error.
You may start, we are ready, head and heart both are steady.
Stood a count with a hound by a fount on a nearby mountain. Ran the hound, so the count ran the hound to the fountain.
Fast, too fast, are you crazy?
mount on a nearby mountain. Ran the hound round the mount, so the count bound the hound to the fountain.
Stood a count with a hound by a mount on a nearby fountain.
You made an error, put up a forfeit.
Stood a count on a nearby mountain.
Another forfeit.
That's one. That's two. That's three.
That's all, it's 3 o'clock. That's all, it's 3 o'clock.
The speech of the North, our author has found, gives to beautiful music and asinine sound.
Since every one of us has finished masking, when will the dinner come? We all are asking. Oh, 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 tom-na-na-na, oh, 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 tom-na-na-na. And now the dinner chime has finished ringing. Let's go into the banquet with our singing. Oh, 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 tom-na-na-na, oh, 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 tom-na-na-na. We'll even wash our hands with fine deportment, so we can taste the herbs of rich assortment. Oh, 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 tom-na-na-na, oh, 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 tom-na-na-na. The table now is set, the timing is fine, to toast this gay Festino with a fine wine. Oh, 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 tom-na-na-na, oh, 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 tom-na-na-na.
This wine that we offer for tasting tonight will make you all stagger with modern delight.
Here's a toast to bass, soprano, alto, and falsetto.
What wine is this, oh, Mr. Covello?
This wine is one we call a Chiarello.
Chiarello, good Chiarello, a weak wine is for me.
Bravo, 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 bravo.
Here's a toast to bass, falsetto, and to you contralto.
What wine is this, oh, you cantinero?
This is a nice wine that we call Versiero.
Versiero, good Versiero, you are so very nice.
Bravo, 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 bravo.
Here's a toast to basso with contralto in good spirit.
What wine is this, oh, my compagnone?
This heavy drinker's wine is called Trincone.
Trincone, good Trincone, I'll drink it heavily.
Bravo, 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 bravo.
Here's a toast at last to bass, for he's a gallant fellow.
What wine is this, oh, Mr. Cotale?
Here is a sweet wine we call Codriale.
Oh, sweet as Codriale, I think I'll make you mine.
Here's a toast.
Here's a toast to all of
To
our
all
good
our good
companions.
Tell me, friends, if our wine has pleased you.
It's so good, so very good, Cantinero. Thanks so much, Cantinero. Thanks a lot. It's all so good, so very good. I've had too much.
Those those who have leisure for further pleasure, we leave you yearning for our returning.
Those who have leisure for further pleasure, we leave you yearning for our returning.
Come back and find it if pleasure-minded.
With song be merry, your cares to vary. Although we need you, we cannot feed you.
To serve you any,
You're far too many.
sweet be our parting as was our starting.
But time's been fleeting, our song completing. And if our flavor has found your favor,
Don't dare to miss
our next edition. Those who have leisure for further pleasure, we leave you yearning for What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. What a musical allegretto, see the Moors in a spagnoletto. See the eyes of the dancers flashing, with the figures of old and dashing. See the eyes of the dancers flashing. Oh, oh,